Good day, everybody. As we are studying the plant embryology, in earlier class we discussed about the history of the development of embryological study, various embryologists. Then later on, earlier we also discussed organization of a typical flower. Different groups of higher angiosperms, they develop very beautiful, attractive, sainted or non-sainted, smaller or larger or bigger one. Anyhow, the flowers are meant for sexual reproduction. Flowers are considered to be as an of highly specialized reproductive shoot, which is a modified shoot of the plant. Flowers may be a unisexual flowers or a bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers, also called hermaphrodite flowers, they contain both the androecium and the gynoecium. Androecium is considered to be as a male reproductive role of the flower. Gynoecium is considered to be as a female reproductive role of the flower. Just I will make a sketch of the typical flower again so that we can discuss the other aspect of the organization of the typical flower. Stigma, stigmatic surface, long style, maybe the style may be a long or a short, again it may be the solid or a hollow, the style, just I am showing like this type of the style not present in every plant, like that. The ovary, basal solvent portion of the gynoecium. This is stigma, style, ovary, which is situated usually upon the thalamus of the flower, then the pedicel of the flower. Androecium consists of number of stamens. The filament of the stamen, like this. Filament, the thalamus of the flower. Almost all the four different roles of the flower develop on the thalamus of the flower. The pedicel, the thalamus, the filament of the anther, filament of the stamen, the anther, together known as a stamen, anther, filament. So this is the filament, okay, the anther, together termed as a stamen, So this is the stamen. Stigma, stigmatic surface, style, style, then the ovary. Androecium is then out of the four different roles in a complete the hermaphrodite or bisexual flowers. Androecium and then gynoecium are the male and then female reproductive roles. Andros means what? The male. Androecium. The units of the androecium are called stamens. There may be a number of stamens. Few to a number of stamens are usually situated on the thalamus of the flower. Each and every stamen consists of the anther and a filament and as well as the connective. Connective is the point of the attachment of the filament to the anther. So, based on this, the stamens are of different types. Anthers are of different types. Basifixed anthers, dorsifixed anthers, like that. If the filament of the stamen which is attached to the anther of the flower at its base, such a anther is known as a basipetal anther. If it is attached to the back or the dorsal side, at the back of the anther, such a type of anther is known as dorsifixed anther. So, stamens consists of the long, hollow, the filament and the top of which is a anther. Androecium consists of the number of stamens. Gynoecium, which is a female reproductive role. Both the androecium and then gynoecium are considered as a male and then female sex organs of the flower of a higher angiosperms. The pistil or a gynoecium consists of the stigma, style and then ovary. Every gynoecium have got a basal swollen portion known as a ovary. This ovary, it may contain a number of ovules. Ovules are present within the ovary. Based on the number of the ovules within the ovary are maybe the monocarpellary ovary, bicarpellary ovary, tricarpellary ovary, like that. Carpels are considered as a units of the gynoecium, as I already quoted earlier. Carpels are present within the ovary. Within the carpel there are ovules. Okay. Carpels are the units of the gynoecium. Within the carpels, there are a number of ovules are present. Just I will show you a single ovule here. The stigma, style, ovary, within which. So, if you take the section of the ovary, it appears like this. The ovary wall. There may be a number of carpels, single carpel, the ovules like this. Another carpel, like this. This is nothing but the ovule. Carpels, the ovules, the ovary wall. So the stigma, style, ovary, within which number of carpels. Every carpel contains the ovules. In this the structure, I can show you a single ovule. So this is the integument of the ovules. Integuments like this. the egg, synacrids, secondary nucleus, integuments, antipodal cells, like this. Nucellus, embryo sac, egg, synacrids are very present within the ovule. Anyhow, the androecium and the gynoecium are considered as the reproductive roles of the flower. If you take the section of the anther, we can also understand the microsporophyll, microsporangium and the microspores in this the stamen. Pistil, also called a gynoecium. The ovules are termed as ovules and embryo sac. Embryo sac consists of the egg of the female gamete. Let's move to study the TS of the anther, so that how can the anther develops and produce very minute and microscopic number of the pollen grains or microspores. It is better to study the TS of the anther. If you take the section of a very young the anther, it reveals such a structure. Yes, this is the outline of the section of the TS of a one locule, another locule, and at another locules, like this. This is the outermost layer of the anther, usually termed as the epidermis. Inner to which there is another layer known as endothecium. The anther wall made up of a number of layers. There may be a number of layers. These number of layers of the anther as they cover the inner locule or a microsporangium. This is one locule or a pollen sac. We may call this as a locule or a microsporangium or the pollen sacs. This locule or a pollen sac or a microsporangium actually contain number of pollen grains. Number of pollen grains. This is the tears of the anther of the flower. Tears of the anther of the flower. By taking the section of young anther of the flower, one can understand, one can study the how can the microsporangium is protected inside the anther? How can the microspores develop their structure? Okay. How can these microspores get nourishment or the nutrients? Usually here lies the point of the attachment of the locule, the vascular supply. The vascular supply, nothing but vascular supply, nothing but the connective tissue. The filament, which is the point of the attachment of the filament, it is the point of the attachment of the filament. One pollen sac, another pollen sac. In a higher angiosperms, the stamens exhibit a long filament and a anther, and as well as the connective. Here it lies a connective. Here it lies a connective. Like this, I can show you here. This is the connective of the anther. One lobe of the anther, another lobe of the anther, another lobe of the anther. Okay. Here it lies a connect. Here it lies the filament. So this is termed as the connective of the anther. Connective of the stamen. Connective of the stamen. Connective of the stamen. Connective. Every stamen consists of the filament, connective, and anther. Anthers have got very commonly in majority of the plants. The two lobes. This is one lobe, this is another lobe. There is a groove between the two lobes. There are two lobes. This is one lobe and this is another lobe. There are two lobes. Between these two lobes there is a connective. Okay. If you take the section of such a very young anther, it reveals the two lobes having the two pollen sacs. Out of there are four pollen sacs or four loculi or the four microsporangia are present within the single anther of the stamen. And every locule or a pollen sac consists of hundreds and thousands or lakhs of very minute microscopic the spores known as the pollen grains. Known as the pollen grains. Pollen grains. Also called microspores. Also called microspores. Microsporangium consists of a number of microspores. The stamens are otherwise termed as microsporophylls. Microsporophylls. This is the stamen, also known as microsporophyll. Every microsporophyll contain a filament, connective and anther. Anther consists of the two lobes. If you take the section, every lobe of the anther contains the two pollen sacs, also called microsporangia. There are two microsporangia in each lobe of the anther. Altogether there are four microsporangia. Singular microsporangium, microsporangium, microsporangium containing a number of microspores. Microsporophyll, microsporangia and microspores, like that. Microsporophylls, microsporangia and microspores. In this way we can study a lot later on. How can exactly the growth and development of the ovule occur within the carpel of the ovary? How exactly the microspores or pollen grains develop within the microsporangium of the microsporophyll, like that. So this is the gynosium, also called a pistil. This is an androsium containing a number of stamens. Stamens are otherwise termed as the microsporophylls. Microsporophylls having a filament, connective and anther. Anther shows the presence of the two lobes, and the four loculi are microsporangia containing a microspores. Higher angiosperms produce indefinite number of very minute microscopic the spores known as the microspores. These microspores, upon the germination, they become into a male gametophyte. Male gametophyte. When these pollen grains are microspores transferred to the stigmatic surface, just I am showing you in a bigger size, but actually these are very minute and microscopic. When these are transferred to the stigmatic surface of a flower, when they are transferred from the anther of the flower, when these pollen grains or microspores are transferred to the stigmatic surface of the flower, they begin their germination under appropriate conditions. If the stigmatic surface is wet in condition, on the surface of such a wet stigmatic surface, the pollen grains usually absorb the moisture content or water or sugary substances. They undergo germination and become into a male gametophyte. Microspores are not at all male gametes. Microspores, upon the germination, they produce a male gametes. In higher angiosperms, sexual reproduction takes place. Both the male and the female gametes are born within the flower. When they are produced, the fusion of the male and the female gametes also takes place. The zygote will also be formed. This zygote later on become into an embryo. So all it comes under the embryology. The microspores are very minute. They contain a nucleus and a dense amount of the cytoplasm covered by the two membranes or layers known as the outer layer of the microspore or a pollen grain is known as exine. Inner wall of the microspore known as intine. So this is exine. This is an intine of a microspore. This exine is very hard and very rough, or in other words, it is variously sculptured like this. It is variously sculptured. It is not always uniform everywhere on its surface. Variously sculptured. outer exine of the microspore, which is very rough, very hard, non-elastic, variously sculptured, This is known as the exine. Inner to this there is an intine. This intine is elastic in nature, thin and uniform everywhere. Inner to this intine there is some amount of the cytoplasm containing a nucleus. This is the microspore nucleus. Every such a minute microspores, also called the pollen grains, protected by the two layers, the exine and the intine. The exine and intine together, they determine the shape of the pollen grain or a microspores. The study of the pollen grains is otherwise known as a palynology. It plays a very significant role in the field of the forensic science. The microspores of various higher angiosperms are not always similar and same. Microspores or pollen grains are variously modified, or they are of different in shape. Maybe a smaller or a larger. Maybe they are produced sometimes lesser in number, sometimes indefinitely. Like that, the pollen grains usually present in the environmental air. These pollen grains responsible for the pollination of the flower. The pollen grains, as they covered by the exine and the intine. Exine, the outermost layer of the pollen grain or a microspore, non-elastic, rough or very thick and rough. Also, this exine bear here and there some thin areas. These thin, the areas of the exine of the pollen grain act as apertures. Otherwise act as a pores. When the pollen grains are transferred to the stigmatic surface of the flower, under appropriate environmental conditions, these pollen grains absorb the water or the nutrients. They undergo germination. During the germination of the pollen grain, this intine, it comes out. This intine comes out like this. This intine through the small aperture or a small thin area which are present on the exine of the pollen grain. This nucleus divides and the two male gametes will be formed like this. The pollen grains on the germination, they become into a male gametophyte. Germinating pollen grain is now known as a male gametophyte. So this is another the idea. I shall continue in the next class. Thank you.